Welcome to a Few TSU Sports Fans podcast, where we talk all things TSU sports and our passion meets the game. From the biggest plays to the hottest debates, we bring you everything TSU sports. Whether you're diehard or just getting in the game, we've got you covered. Let's talk TSU. Go Big Blue.
And welcome to another episode of Few TSU Sports Fans. Fortunately, not a winning show this week. Dropped a tough one to Alabama A&M. First game of the Legacy Series. 10K strong showed up. Okay. And, but today we have a special guest. So we're going to introduce our great guest, Mr. Flying Tiger. He's going to tell us a little about himself. He's going to tell us his background, where he's from, how he got to TSU. Go ahead and tell your story.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for inviting me on as a fan of TSU, all things TSU, and specifically this podcast, man. I'm glad y'all having the fan invite. So I'm one of the first fans to get to come on. Look, man, I made it to TSU by way of St. Louis, Missouri. And what I'd say is, I ran track there, and one of my most memorable moments at TSU was really on my first visit. So fortunately or unfortunately, either way you look at it, so I got recruited there to run, had set my visit up, and right when I got ready to come down, the coach got fired. And it was just a lot of change going on at TSU at that time. We had a new AD who was coming in and making some changes, so she made a change with the track coach for the men's program. And, at that point, my folks were like, well, we're headed down. Let's go ahead and go down and visit. And to my surprise, when I got there, Dr. Hefner, so I'm a Hefner kid, actually met us and he took us on the tour. So it was cool because I had a couple of my friends come down with me. So myself and my friends got a tour of TSU's campus by Dr. Hefner. And I immediately got introduced to the Southern hospitality that people talk about. I grew up in the Midwest, specifically St. Louis, when they call it like the land of the mean mug. So I'm not used to people saying hello and hi and just being kind. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Not to mention, it's Tennessee State. So the campus is beautiful. The ratio was perfect, if y'all know what I'm referring to. So it was an easy choice for me to make my way to TSU, man, from that perspective. So that's a great memory for me. When it comes to athletics, man, I got the opportunity, of course, I got some gold medals on that side of the track. So that's awesome. But one of the memories for myself that didn't include me was just watching the boys, the championships they won. So I got a chance to see that, back in the 99 year, the 98 year, when they actually won the championship and the crowds were 30,000 in Titan Stadium. So I know what we can do. I know we want to get back there, but sooner or later we'll get there.
That's dope. Were they in the hole your first year?
Yeah, so the first year was in the hole, and I know that folks online have talked a little bit about the shuttles, etc. And man, because I was a football guy in high school, so I played football and ran track. And so when I went on track at TSU, I would go to the game, even if it was a away game, because they had shuttles. So if the game was somewhere else, you get on that shuttle and just ride, man. So it'd be the pep club and any students that wanted to go, you meet at the airplane, hop on, and you go to the game, man. So I used to go to the away games and have a great time. I don't know if I was at that game when they pulled down. What did they pulled down part of the stadium, right? I don't know if I was at that one.
That was great.
But I went to all of them that I could, man. So, yeah, we were there in the hole my first year. The second year, we went to Titan Stadium, and there was some excitement. But of course, there were a lot of folks who feel like they did today, where they didn't want to make that change. What I saw from a difference perspective, and I think it really did affect folks, is when we first got down there. So in the hole, what was happening is you at the hole, you laughing at people tripping over this thing on the ground, and the Greeks they doing their thing. Folks are hopping up and down the stairs. Everybody's it's like a family reunion. Everybody just getting it in. When you got to Titan Stadium, it was like sit down and chill out. They didn't want you I remember literally seeing the Greeks trying to start, hopping, going up and down the stairs or strolling, and they shut it down. So that was something that was like a culture shock to us. Like, okay, now we got all these rules. So like, what is this about? Usually they want to sit down, watch the game. That was not something we were accustomed to. And I think, as people kept dealing with that type of stuff, you had some people just like, look, I'm good. But even with that, we still were having like 30,000 in the stadium. So,
Mm. Well,
Definitely
thanks,
high end.
brother. I think when Madness and Rodney and I put this thing together, we wanted this to be about the fans. So we appreciate you giving us a little bit of time and being part of our experience today.
appreciate it. Thank
Appreciate you, young
Yes.
Newt. Chaotic.
you. Oh, that was another great time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We ain't gonna spend too much time on it.
Yeah, right.
Hey, man,
right.
let's move on.
Yeah, I remember those times, and I do remember the first sort of rough transition because being an NFL stadium to a college stadium, the Greeks not being allowed to step, because that, shout out to the Alphas, they were the main ones on campus stepping up and down the aisle, and
That's
then
right.
one of them got the flag out, and it was like, nope, put that flag down, sit down,
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of did have an effect. I even think one of the it was somebody who's there for security, whatever. Brother decided to step down because he didn't like the conversation that were going on with the Titans and stuff like that, and in the National Sports Council. So he ended up quitting that first year or so. It was like sort of a tough transition, with that too as well. So there was a lot of politics behind the scenes that sort of hurt, but even after that, I would say they moved from the Greeks moved from stepping down the aisles to stepping behind the band.
That's right.
And because there was enough space. So that happened. Then also the band, they started to, and you see that, I think for a while with all HBCUs, the band start turning their backs because like they didn't want to, the referees would say throw flags. So all right, we just turn our back and play towards the outside, and then they're playing toward people stepping in the background, stuff like that. So then it was great. And you talking about our lows were, 10. We filled the lower bowl for OVC games for several years after that, So it just 10,000. That would be an OVC game, right? To be totally honest, I mean that's like, but yeah. So we are. We got to move forward, and we'll talk some other things with attendance a little later. And again, I know like people, I'm going back and forth online, because I got time. But they're like, I had 10,000 people, I'll be excited. It's like, well, that's for you and your school, but for us, that's just okay. Yeah. So Legacy Series, we play Alabama A&M because I think we played Alabama A&M for John Mayer Classic a couple of years in the mid 2000s, whatever. That was like 20,000 people easily.
Yep.
That's a bit of a drop off with 10,000. But we dropped 23-21. Came out hot and just couldn't figure it out. Flying Tigers, since you're the guest, what we talked about the game and what you saw overall.
Yeah. Number one, one thing I think we are getting with the attendance, even if it's 8,000, 10,000, we're moving in the right direction compared to last year. Also, it feels like the people who are at the game really want to be at the game. Somebody during the game, I think it was Charles Galvin, posted, "Hey, shoot a selfie if you at the game." And people started posting the pictures of themselves.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of pictures,
Yeah.
and everybody just looked like they was having a great time. So even if we're kind of rebuilding the core, we're rebuilding that core with people who are excited and are really out there cheering and pushing our team. That's who we want there anyway. Versus people who just kind of sitting there and not being engaged, man. So I watched on TV on ESPN Plus or 2, whatever it was, and what I would say is, man, we all know that A&M's QB he's good, and you could tell he's confident, and I'm gonna attribute that to Kenton Evans, who is our own TSU, one of the boys, right? That many of us know, and we know he's a quarterback guru. So when I saw their QB and he had a swagger, right? That dude had a swagger about them. But I will say, our defense did what our defense has done, against A&T in the first half, which was they was hitting. The defense came out hitting number 7, James Stewart, doing what he do. Like, he sets the tone. So you saw that immediately. It felt like we were getting a little bit of a slow start in the first quarter, but second quarter it all opened up, and it felt like we were getting whatever we wanted, at least, going into halftime. So I was excited about seeing a new quarterback. Not that I don't think Palmer can do it, but I think we've all been curious about what the other QBs could do. So seeing McNair get the opportunity to start, he plays confident too. I like to see that. He makes quick decisions, and if it's not there, it seems like he's a little hesitant to take off, but we know he can, and he did a few times. Probably had a couple other opportunities where he could have and didn't, but he looked pretty good comparatively. I think also Kendrick Rhymes, man, that dude do. If it's a hole and it's available, he's gonna take it. I also really was impressed by is it Zach Simmons Brown, the second?
Yes.
Brown.
Yeah. 30.
He's nice. He's nice, and they're a little different. He's a little more shifty, but man, that's a nice 1-2 combo. But yeah, I mean, I give you my initial thoughts were I think certain elements of the game improved from, and I'm just comparing it to A&T because we know North Dakota State was what it was. I think certain elements improved, but there were a few things where we were like, yeah, we got to work on that, and that's maybe that defensive backfield, that we saw some things because they were getting. I'm gonna let someone else comment on that, but that's the opportunity I saw. Also, we came out, felt like we didn't make the right adjustments in the second half to continue the score. And what's great, man, I hate to say it like this, but what's great is we lost by 2 points, and we know we didn't play up to par, right? So there's something to celebrate in that.
Yeah. I mean, Tiger, I think for me, the common theme is adjustment or lack thereof, right? We think about A&T. I think we went up 10 points, and we really had a chance to shut the water off, and A&T made an adjustment. Now you got to give them credit, but you're at home. To your point, you got a crowd that's into the game, giving you every bit of energy that they got, and next thing you know, we got to block a field goal to win the game. And with A&M, same difference. We started off slow. We opened things up in the second quarter, and maybe it's just a testament of us being a young team and give A&M credit, but we got to figure out how to adjust and keep that foot on the neck because to me, that was the difference. And we didn't score a point in the second half. We didn't score 1 point in the second half. And we come out, we get a drive. Now we have 13. Now it's a 2-possession game. They got to score 2 touchdowns. I don't think they was going to score 2 touchdowns, but, it is what it is. So I keep telling myself this is a young team.
Yeah.
This is a young team at key positions, and a young team and an inexperienced team at all key positions besides probably linebacker. So we've got to get through these growing pains, but we got to get through them quick. We got to get through them quick, or this thing gonna go south. Coach Harris was out. I think he had a personal reason he was out, so hopefully he'll get back and we can keep improving that offense. And we got some things we got to clean up on defense, but I believe they're gonna look back at this game and kick themselves. Like, damn, we really let one go. You got to give them credit, but we let one slip.
Let's go back to the offense real quick. And just thinking about we had a couple 30-15s we got, Right? We talked about before. We need some long passes, and so we got we got two. I think we had third. I think in that first drive, the first quarter, we got two 30-15s, or maybe is it one in the first, one in the second, something like that. But we got two nice 15-yard out routes to get the first down. And so you saw it sort of come together like, okay, I guess we got 21 points up because it seemed like it was coming together and running the ball, getting out there. McNair was able to get a little bit more time, using his feet, taking a step, and do whatever and get some good plays for us to get the ball up the field, which they still need more work up. I still haven't seen a fly route. Just toss, hike the ball, and just fake it to Rhymes, or fake it to Simmons Brown, and just put it up top and see what happens. But we need something like that too as well. Like we played all our three tight ends. We only got three tight ends, but all three of them played this game. Before it was just two. Jones 86 and Hove. This time Roof did play too as well, and so like that combination, we will need some more passes to the tight ends, as well going forward. And also another guy, we need to get the ball more too as well. The UConn transfer, he's more of a Brock Montgomery. He's a possession receiver. We really need to get him more active and involved, in the pass, because he's good route runner. Definitely get him in there. We got people. Slaughter can blow the top off. Tyson Edwards can blow the top off. He doesn't use, these guys a little more stretch kind of guys, but we need that middle of the field to help McNair, especially when it is blitzing. Right? It was that fourth quarter. They just said they teed off on us. They blitzed, four guys, and then they said, man to man, we coming hard, and unfortunately, I was seeing like a little bit of, let's say deja vu, or the quarterback standing still, versus moving that pocket around. You don't necessarily have to do necessarily a full rollout, but hey, hike the ball, take 2-3 steps to the left, pick it, whatever, move the pocket, because you got, stand like a statue. He's just standing like this, and he's just backing up. He has nowhere to go. We just go see sometimes when he's spinning a little bit, like we got on Ellis a little bit. Year before, he had his great last year. Get rid of that spin stuff. And if you move the pocket a little bit, get him out there so he doesn't stand like a statue. He can get out there and use his speed, use his agility. Let me read some stats off first, real quick. So we had Brian McNair. He was 17-27, one touchdown, one interception, which was sort of tipped. Bang man kind of play. Rushing, we had Rhines with 24 attempts, 113 yards, one touchdown. Zach Simmons Brown, we do have our backup tailback. Actually, then we have a third one too with Will Hoyt. He's doing our returns. He's sort of new, so I think eventually he'll get to be the third running back. But he had 76 yards and one touchdown too as well. And Rhymes had a long for 20, and then Simmons Brown, so he had a long run for 27. So they're getting the ball up the field, receiving. Kendra Rhymes, he had a lot of balls, 7 for 64, one touchdown. He had one great pass. I had to review Brock Montgomery, 2 for 29. Tyson Edwards, 3 for 28. Devin Slaughter, 3 for 15. Justin Hughes, 1 for 11. And then we actually, Jaden Guy had 1 for 10. He think it's the first time he played in the game, I think, this year. So, yeah, offensive side of the ball, first half, you see, again, I like what I saw, but just couldn't figure out second half how to get the ball going and move the ball anymore. So they sort of got, I don't know if that, like I said, we said earlier in our chat, essentially that I think that the adjustment was starting McNair, and they had a hard time figuring out how to adjust to how A&M changed defense around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then let me talk defense next. Let's read out the defensive stats. I'll scroll right past it. There we go. Tennessee State. Cocky Baker, 10 solos. He's one of our linebackers. James Stewart, 2 solos, 7 total involved. Marlon Huff, D tackle, 6 involved with 6 tackles, 3 solo. Jaden Cook, 3. Apaki Faku. I mess these names. I gotta get it right. But he got me
So
last name
many
like
names on
name.
the back of their jerseys, but I
Yeah,
digress.
but he's a linebacker. He had 4 tackles. Micah Gay, he had 2 tackles. Linebacker. Jalen Price 2. Sammy Taylor 2. Deshaun Watkins, he's back, getting his rhythm together. DB 2. Dominique Dixon, I haven't heard how long he'll be out. He did get injured, and that's sort of a shift right there. When he got injured, they gave a touchdown up, and I do think some of that because the injury looked real serious. I think that sort of messed the momentum up. Bryce Gray 2. He got honored this week. Also got a sack too, as well. So Sincere had 1. Brent Rowe, a host of others there. One thing
Who'd you
I will
say?
say, I did, huh?
Who'd you say was the leading tackler in this game?
Oh, Rocky Baker. I think he's number 28. He's like strong safety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's running the ball a lot. He flies. He's running the ball a lot. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned before the DBs. I don't know if it's soft coverage or they're not recognizing that, basically what's happening was they're hiking the ball, and they're trying to beat our rush, essentially. So there's no point, or we're not wanting James to get to us, we get rid of the ball really quickly. And so the guys, the wide receivers are running quick slants and quick little stops, whatever, and so they get the ball. And then they have 5 to 8 yards of cushion just to get open. And then we can't get a rush because the ball's already gone by the time James Stewart get his momentum going. And that was sort of a huge adjustment they went to. Then another thing I observed too, because I played linebacker back in the day, back when I was young. Our linebackers really wasn't. So when you're a linebacker, you have to check the run first, and then get back in the passing lane, essentially, right? And our linebackers weren't doing that. They were rushing up, leaving the lanes open so they can run little slants, and the DB sort of like stuck out there. And so what they
But
did do,
is that scheme or is that misassignment? Because we know Williams like to get after. So is that dependent on good secondary play?
it looked like it was a misassignment because a couple times I saw the DB saying, "What are you doing?" Before you to the linebacker, "What are you doing?"
Okay.
So some could have been scheme, some could have been that, but I think it was a little bit. Yeah, I think it was Arizona on linebackers because they did, because you saw Apaki come in and Brent Rowe come in to stay in passing lanes more because I saw that they snatched all the other guys. I said, y'all sit down, you all aren't checking the run and getting back
Mm-hmm.
what you need to do. And so they ended up playing different linebackers. Because at first half was more, this is the first 3 that started, and they said, all right, Brent Rowe get in there because Brent Rowe hasn't really played a lot this year. So this game he played a lot because they need somebody to get back in coverage and stay on the keys. And so they did do that. So I do think it was a combination of, some scheme misses and also they're not understanding what's going on there. But yeah, we just gotta. And I don't know how you fix that. I think there's this time, and we do have one of our starting. Brennan Hall is out. Last 2 games, strong safety came from, I think, Southern Utah. I think he came from. But he's been out. He played the first A&T game and hasn't played since. So sort of like missing that kind of leadership from the safe position to say, you know, um, so it's sort of hectic. Giving me flashback here. So the linebackers are calling out, to the line where to go and stuff like that. The safeties are saying, strong safety, like to Cocky Baker saying, "Hey, this is the signal. This is what we got." A lot of going back and forth. They need to communicate better, and I think that's sort of like someone was not giving a call, to those person. Linebackers weren't telling the safeties or whatever. It was something missing, and that they were sort of getting confused. Because there's no way a receiver should be running across the field, butt naked open. And then the DB is 10 yards off the ball, and you give that guy a free reign, to catch and run. It's like there's no way that should be happening. And they did sort of make adjustments a little bit there because it wasn't all bad, but they were getting up chunks of yardage there. So that can be approved upon, definitely. But you just can't have giving up these little first downs here and there. because of miscommunication. I think that's also going back to how you feel. Like they're young. They're young. It's like you don't have that kind of experience. Then Deshaun Watkins, he knows how to play, but he seemed like he's new. I see some guys missing some schemes and stuff like that in the wrong plays. People run out open because they're not getting communicating. But I think they'll be able to catch up. Next 2 weeks are very important to catch up. I would say
Yeah.
very important. There's no more excuses. I came in late. We played 3 games. You had 4 weeks, to figure out. You have to know it by now. If you know it, or you got to go sit down somewhere. That's sort of where you are right now on the side of football.
I think that's part of the opportunity that the coaching staff was trying to take advantage of was like actually seeing personnel in real time, right?
Yeah.
So they were definitely moving players in and out,
Yep.
and they're still trying to figure out who's the right 11.
Yep.
And sometimes when you make that shift of moving somebody in and out, they catch us. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, but yeah. So I like Barlow's comments this week when he mentioned, "Hey, we looked at this first 3 games almost like a preseason because it's pre-conference, and they literally were still trying to figure out who's the right fit. And like y'all said, everybody's so young. It's hard to say. You can't just say, hey, I got this kid that's been here 3 years and he's the automatic starter. We don't really have that situation for most positions.
I mean, hell, we just had guys enroll, past the purge line.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how that happens. I still don't understand, and it's not just TSU. That happens all over the place, and I still don't understand how that happens.
Submit your paperwork. Submit your paperwork.
But how can you start? How can you start college classes after the classes have started? I don't know how that works.
Well, hey, it's a business.
Yeah. Business.
Yeah.
I think another thing that was important for this game is we had some improvements in key statistical areas, right? So we saw TSU lead the time of possession by more than 10 minutes, which was not the case in our first game. We saw quarterback efficiency, from a completion percentage. We won that battle against A&M. Now he had 300 plus yards, but when you think about how many passes we threw and actually connected, we had a better stat there. So there were some key stats that we needed to improve on that we did, which was good to see.
So what that tells me is we weren't getting it in the end zone. We had opportunities, we just weren't getting it in,
or we made some mistakes.
Yeah,
like inopportune mistakes because they were moving the ball. It was surprising because also another great stat for us was third down conversions. We had more third down conversions than Alabama A&M. So we were positioning ourselves to win the game. It's just things are happening at the wrong time.
Right. It's kind of like our game against North Carolina A&T. They had the ball. They had more yards, more time possession, but we had bigger plays, and they had mistakes, just like the same with the Alabama A&M game, but just reverse. We controlled the ball, but I think we just had more mistakes on defense, and they had more big plays on offense.
No takeaways this game. So that's a big thing. We had turnover.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We had turnover and a fumble at the end of the game, but he dropped the ball another time too. We had to recover it, but we didn't cause any turnovers. So that's another thing that happened too. That's sort of a difference with that. Another thing on offensive side of the ball too is looking at how do you Rhymes and Zach Simmons are very good, right? And I don't think they really managed that subbing in because I think he scored first. Zach Simmons scored first. Brown scored first, and like he had a little momentum, and they came back with Rhymes like going in the third quarter, and then he just couldn't pop it open, and it's like, well, why aren't So one thing I would like to see is both I said before. Been a year they thought when we had Devin Starling thought was going to play this year, but just couldn't get eligible. Whatever happened with that, they're going to do a lot of 20 sets, 2 running backs. Rhymes and Simmons Brown, they're going to be both from the field. Right. I do think they both can be on the field. You get come with some packages. You got two different style of runners. You can fake the one. I mean, I'm gonna go like old school Pee Wee kind of football, high school football. You fake the one, run an option. You know what I'm saying? It's like you get a runner with McNair. Do that either way. To get more opportunities for these guys to get the ball and um, create more passing lanes. I still think that's a major issue. We got to get the ball, 20, 25-yard pass. We got to get that ball out of there to get back those safeties up because we can't just think we can screen, short screen passes to the left and right. I think we got to do a little more because we see the same kind of stuff. It's like you have to extend the field, spread the field out. Make the passing lanes a lot easier. And right now, it's just not happening. And that RPO stuff, is just, it's just sort of you want people to commit so you can make a decision. And like right now, it's like, they're not doing that. They're sitting on our slants. That slant right to Slaughter that we scored, they're sitting on them. They're like, you're not going to throw a 5-yard route and let Slaughter run 100 yards. You're not doing anything. They'll sit right on it. And so they got to figure out different ways to break down defenses and use our talent because there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of things they need to work on and think about. Yeah, we're here, and I guess so. We're 23-21. We got a week off. Then from here we go Tennessee Tech. We play the dog. Of the conference. They've come out really hot. They had some weak teams. They played. They've been hot. I don't know. I can't remember who they're playing this week. I think they played one FBS team. Chat. They smashed Chat. Smashed Division 2 team. So they might not play the FBS team actually. I can't remember. I think it's another FBS team. I don't know who they go against this week. They're good as people said they were. So we got to get ready for them. And then we got Tech. It's East Illinois and SEMO. So the next 3 games really going to tell a lot about who we are, or it could be Tech, SEMO, some of that combination. So we play in the top 4 teams roughly. I think EIU was picked 4th. I think it's a lot on the line these next 3 games to see who we are and where we're going to go.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Tech is one of the top teams offensively in the FCS.
Yeah, they're bad.
It'll be a really, really good test for our defense, and we got to score. You know what I'm saying? These cats gonna come and they're gonna do what they can. We've got to take advantage of our opportunities. The one thing I did like from the last game was you named the player. You named him as like one of the 3rd running backs. What's his name?
Will Hoyt.
Will Hoyt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Running that ball back. I mean, that was a momentum shifter there when he ran that back right before halftime and he got across the 50. I can't wait to see more of him. I think he was at FAM last year.
Yep. Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
He arrived. He arrived on time.
2 years ago.
Go ahead. 2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. Tech has a bye week this week.
But yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
So
they played Davidson, which is non-scholarship football. They played Chattanooga and Cumberland.
Okay.
So they have some, a couple of cakes.
Yeah. So, but they're doing what they said they want to do. They're beating teams where they thought they're going to be beat.
Oh yeah, I mean, they blew out Davidson 72-14.
Yeah.
Cumberland 65-0.
And this is their last year in the conference, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I'm going up there and taking 3 of my cousins. They went to Tennessee Tech, so I'm gonna take them to the game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does Tech travel well? I don't know. Do they travel well when they play in Nashville?
I think they used to. They used to travel okay. I mean, they were probably one of the, when it comes to football, I think one of the bigger travel fans other than Jacksonville State back in the day. Jacksonville State. Yeah, Jacksonville State used to travel. Yeah, and Tennessee Tech they were pretty decent. And I like, I know they trip on it. But Tennessee Tech is to bring the band all the time, which you enjoy another band going on. I always like that.
Yeah.
A different experience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did any of y'all actually see the bands from the last game? I didn't get to see halftime, like the actual real time halftime.
Oh, I watched some of the fifth quarter videos. I did watch some. Yeah. It was fine. I don't, I said AOB did well, but I haven't done anything like the study and stuff. He would get all listen to the pitch and I'm not that deep into it, and then like listen to pitch, and then like you stand by Alabama A&M's band, then you don't move close to Tennessee State's band. You say, well, A&M sounds louder, and it's like, could you stand by Alabama A&M's band? You can't. That's not a comparison. You can't say somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They say I'm louder. Yeah, because you close to them. Duh. So the games they play sometimes with the evaluation of these bands, it's pretty like y'all are just being very, very biased here. It's not fair assessments. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, I like what the band was doing. That they came back. They were sick last week. In the North Dakota State game, so they came back with more power. I don't know how many. Wow. Yeah, it's definitely was good to see them back. People getting well and getting it together. So they sound fine to me. I let the pitch guys in there. They can figure out the and rank the bands whatever they want to rank them and stuff like that. So yeah. But I did hear, like them playing, you can hear in the background playing and song and people enjoying, so it's like they're getting more involved with the game with something that we wanted to see. And I think that sort of leads to a lot of the enjoyment of the games that we're seeing now. Yeah. Yep. All right. So transition to the conversations here. Talk more about football, but in a different way.
Now that looked familiar.
Yeah. So, so it's a conversation that was being had about, Hale Stadium. I heard it through the grapevine that, there's some things going on with Hale Stadium. And, we found out that there may be some more issues involved, with, getting this fixed up, right? Getting that fixed up. The press box was torn down over the summer. We had different conversations about saying we want to go back and play some games in Hale, especially with the new stadium. 2027, new Nissan is there, and it's coming. So there will be some adjustments and things like that. So looking for sponsors, looking for different support, and basically, Hale is past just a patch here. It's not a video screen away. It's not a new turf away. It's not a parking. Yeah, it's unavailable. Right. It's like I think that we've been playing around with this. We went back for about 10 years. Was it 10 years we went back? I don't know if it was that long. Maybe that's longer than when Coach Ryan Reed 12. So we play how many years we played? Like 6, 7 years? 6, 7. What the kids say? 6, 7 years in there.
What, our last game in Hale?
Yeah, we played during COVID too as well. So I guess technically it was COVID.
We played with Eddie George. We played against Lane.
That was the last game.
2021 and 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe.
Come on, man. Don't bring that back up.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, so 2021 technically the last game we had at Hale Stadium, and we thought it was a little easier to fix up and do things, and we found out it's a lot bigger. So it's unavailable, right? In terms of using the stadium seats, it's not. We can't use it. We can't use it. We can use the grass, we can practice on it, but we can't have graduation there. We can't do anything like that where we got using the seats is sort of bad. So we can come with some different options. So, I think this is Demetrius. I think he came up with this option. We can think about using the Ed Temple track. So it sits behind.
This wasn't my option. This is what the rumor mill says. So I got my sketch out, and I said, well, it could work. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, you can, I don't know, clear out some debris on that side and put some temporary seating there, put some temporary seating behind one end zone. Um, and they want to get 8,000. I think there's more than enough real estate to do that. Um, and since we're talking about this temporary option, I actually like it, and let me tell you why. Over in that corner, there's a lot of forestry over there. I think on the opposite on the side that's closer to Gentry, it's kind of in a little bit of a valley, so it has a little bit of a whole feel. Um, and I think that temporary environment, I think I think the spectators are going to be on top of you. So I think it could create a nice little home field advantage um, over there. So I hope we can follow through with this and see what happens.
For me, I think that I don't want it. I don't want it to be temporary seating. Whatever we put there, I want it to be. We want a stadium or a track. Um, a track for Olympic events. I mean, when I say Olympic events, I mean just major track events. Bringing an invitational to the university. I mean, we're home of just Olympic champions and gold medals, and we got more gold medals than some countries, more, and a whole lot more than some schools. So
Yeah,
we're just established. We weren't an established up and through the 80s, an established track and field program, and so I want us to get back to that stage, and I want whatever we put there, I want it to remain. So if we get 8,000 seats there, let's keep it there. Let's bring our track program back up to speed. But I think it's doable. I don't know how, I don't know the cost and all this. I do know that if you look on the side where it has the two lines at the bottom of the picture has two lines there, with two black lines. You have right there's a lot of rock there. Go down, Dimitri. I mean Rodney. Who's controlling it? Rodney.
Yeah.
yeah.
Take your cursor and go down, go down, go down, over to your right, your other right, down. I don't know what you're doing, but anyway. Um. So what
Oh,
I'm
wait.
what I'm yeah, you were all over the place. But
Go
what I'm
towards
suggesting,
Gentry.
it's a lot of rock right. Yeah, go towards Gentry. Yes, thank you. Down, down, to your right, over, more down.
And as he went to Meadowdale, so
Okay,
we're gonna let it fly.
my
You're
man
right, my
hurt.
left. I knew it was gonna
My
come up.
man hurting. Anyway, there's a lot of rock right
I
there, man.
probably
I
is
mean,
too.
it's just like anything else. It's gonna take some money to build up right there in that area, and so um, but that's doable there. So I'll say stands on each side, stand on the in with maybe one end zone, and then maybe a big scoreboard in the further end zone, and then concession stands, scoreboard. I mean, not scoreboard, but a concession stand and a press box and bathrooms. So those are things that we're gonna need. It doesn't have to be state of the art. It just needs to be aluminum seating, bleachers that people can enjoy themselves.
Yep. I mean, I see
You know,
another
when
Yeah.
way.
you think about
Hey.
some of the,
Go ahead, Tiger.
say it again, Demetri.
No, go
No,
ahead.
when you think about some of the other HBCUs, right? You know, outside of Jackson State, many of them don't have very large stadiums. You know, they all have unique environments that just work for their university. You know, you think about Tuskegee, right, in the shed. You know, that is not a large field, but they've created an environment that just works for them. You know, whether it's Hale Stadium or in this alternate area where we're able to build something on campus, I just want to see us create something that gives us a true home field advantage,
Mm-hmm.
right? And one of y'all mentioned something about the valley. Whatever it is, it needs to be. It needs to have its own little name, like the whole does, and
Mm.
somebody needs to really think about what does this engaging experience look like in this new venue, so that people don't want to miss. Because when you think about that side of the school, as you mentioned, Madness, you got all that rock and there's nothing else there. So it could get immensely loud in that area
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because it's surrounded by trees and rock. That thing
Mm-hmm.
could go wild over there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yes.
I would personally, sorry, Roddy, but I would personally like the home side to be on the side of the rock overlooking the Cumberland River. I would like to look out towards the Cumberland River. So that I would, but it would probably be best if the home side was facing the rest of the campus. But I love the idea though of just sitting on one side and then looking out to the field. Then you have Walter S. Davis Boulevard and then the Cumberland River. Call that joke of the Riverside or something. I don't know.
I think we're all in agreement. There's good potential, and man, I didn't. When I used the word temporary, I was more so saying temporary football stadium. But
Football.
to your
I
point,
got you.
if we're going to do it, create something that's essentially permanent for the track program,
Mm-hmm.
and the goals and ambitions that we want for that program, and both of you, Madness and Flying Tiger, y'all both are part of the program. So I know this is something y'all been wanting for a long time. Let's
Amen.
get a big track and field meet back on campus, outdoor. And you can, I mean, there's so many things you can do. You could host a regional meet. You could host a state finals. I mean, there's a lot you could do with that.
Yeah, and that goes back to us being in Nashville, right? Who doesn't want to be in Nashville? Yeah, so if we can get the venues to align with where we are as a city, we can get the opportunities. I'm thinking about AAU, Junior Olympics, all those things, man.
Yep.
That could be right there at TSU.
Yep.
Yeah, this is not just college events. This is high school events,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just anyone who wants to, bring on a something on the on the campus and, use that facility. This is rental space. So
Yeah. The only thing I was thinking about too was like just in terms of this is doing the temporary football thing. I mean, it's a long walk to halftime and to go and to your locker rooms, right? So it's like if you may, right now you can go to Gentry. I think the man football, our team probably go to Gentry. So where are the visitors? Which is just a long walk too, to walk from there to Gentry,
I think
up
you'd
a
have to put
hill.
some locker rooms down there on that track.
Yeah. It probably hadn't happened. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, 'cause I was looking like, well, if you did that, then you do have the softball facility right there too. They use for cheerleading sometimes too. Right there, right above. But that's still my part of the restroom. But you probably need some kind. Yeah, you got to figure that out. Where's some type of locker rooms, temporary locker rooms. They can sort of,
just and just so perspective, Rodney, take your key, take your cursor. All right. Let's see if you can work. Let's see if you got better at it. All right.
there's two of them.
That side, this side over here where the cursor is right now, is actually facing north. And that is towards Walter S. Davis Boulevard and then the Cumberland River on the side. If you come down, go down, go all the way down to the bottom of those other two lines. There we go. Over here behind this. Now go down, keep going down. Right. And then go down some more behind these lines. Right behind that, you see this little wall there. That's rock. That's really hard. That's rock. Stones. I mean, like they cut this joker out of a mountain and put that track there. That's rock. That's probably what, 12 feet 15 feet high, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty high.
So
It's high.
That's high. So, that's just give you. I was just saying that to give you a perspective where it is, and then of course this is the side where most of the campus is. If you go, going further, if you're going further south,
You may be able to. You may be
Again,
able
how much?
to. I don't know. I don't know what the situation with the Rock is, but you may be able to put something up there, and then almost like a Rucker Park type feel, where you got folks that's looking down, and you know what I mean, bro. I just think there's options. You know what I mean? There's
yeah,
options of what you can do with this space. You know what I mean? You could just like you going to the game. I'm gonna just sit on the rock. You know, but yeah, there's options.
yeah. It gets me excited. It gets me excited. I mean, if we could do it, I know we've been talking about the whole forever. You remember that rendering that came out back when
Yeah,
President Shields was here. We're excited for that. We figured something would be happening soon with that. It never came to fruition. And here we are. We're on this track and field site, and I'm hoping that we can make this come to fruition. Let's stop wishing and hoping and dreaming, and let's just do it
and support it. I mean, I think
and
too is
support it.
like don't go out here and I don't like it's like we got to get it going because we see we've been delaying. We got this idea, then we had an idea for a new stadium in 1990, right? They had renders in 1990 for a new Hale Stadium. So let's
Mm-hmm.
not. So we got to get out the renderings and get to the somebody with a hard hat and get things going.
Get
And
that
don't
crane in the sky, as Demetrius would say.
yeah, and don't get too upset about Hale because some people are gonna be upset about Hale. Well, why can't we? It's like we need to go ahead and figure out the best situation and helping the track program, which has been neglected for many years,
It
to get
has.
this back going, and using that and working together, making a team effort. I mean, I think will be great to have this nice campus on there. And as someone was saying on the message board that they're going to bring in extra seats. They're planning to bring on 8,000 seats, but it was like they done some mitigation. They done some with the water and stuff like that, the flooding. They did some stuff like that already. They are planning to bring some seats in already for the stadium. So, but now since like okay, now we can do more. We can bring in more seats and use it multiple times. That's one thing now, especially with all the funding crisis and things like that. It's like make sure you're using sites multiple times is also very key. Very key. You also high school track, OVC track, young AAU track, just like A&T hosts a lot of AAU events.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like there's plenty of options that can be utilized for this. Then you got the pool back. You say, hey, we got the youth track, youth pool. So we got a lot of things we can really do. Really bring and generate some revenue for our institution. With developing this space. It can be very, very key. And give everyone on the same page, too as well. So I think that's very, very good that this could become a possibility for us, going forward. A couple of sponsors here or there. But to, get this going. That'd be very exciting for us. Very exciting for us. Wow.
Let's hope they make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can get the old guys back and let them do an alumni track meet.
Sorry, I don't know about you, man, but I'm out the game. I'm out the game.
No, we already had a discussion with Robert Hooper. No, he good.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love to see it, and I'm like you all. Hopefully, this isn't just a rendering conversation. This is like I don't even need to see renderings, honestly. Like if y'all go,
Yes.
if you get it done, like let's get it done.
Make it happen.
Yeah. And hopefully it's done by 2027 when new stadium comes around. So that we have an option. Then, if not sooner, maybe we can. I'm not sure what they plan to do with the track.
Man, we
with
can do
adjustments
that.
anyway.
That
You
can
know?
that can be done fairly quickly. For what we thinking, the four of us. Now, I don't know if there's
Yeah.
big major plans, but I'm thinking a 6 month. That's a 6 month project. Clear out some stuff, put some temporary bleachers down, find somewhere to create some bio facilities, bring food trucks in. Like, if they're gonna do it, I think they can be playing there next season. So
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is this.
That's
Do
very
you?
optimistic.
Yeah. It's like,
again,
do you buy your own
madness. If they
scoreboard? Do you?
want to, if they want to do it, they can do it next season.
They can start
Hell,
now. Yeah,
fam, you tore down half of their stadium in the off season and rebuilt it in the off season. Like,
that's true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
they tore that thing down. Dirt, back up, 6 months. Talking about we brag different. So you know what I mean? Like, they can do it. They can do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, as I think about it even more now, I was like, that could be great, man. You have a little section, 'cause you may need to differentiate from the whole, because I think you may have some different discussion, because people are getting their feelings, so you may say this is the whole section or something, something like to say come sit in the hole or something like that, just in terms of like a space. Because if you say this is Hale Stadium, like, no, it's not Hale. This is not. No, no, no. This is where we're supposed to be. So you got to figure out how to capture, make a crack, put a crack in the grass, so that people trip.
We at the
Something.
tell them we at the temple. We at the temple.
Yeah, we at the temple. Yeah,
We at the temple. I like that. I
We
like
at the
that. I
temple.
like that even better than the rock.
With a little lapel.
You had already sold me on the rock, but you know what?
Yeah.
We at the temple. Let's go to the temple. Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, we at the temple. Yeah,
Yes.
it's really cool. We can get our little emblem too, right? The TSU emblem,
There you go.
you know what I'm saying? Little lapel we got. So we can rock with that too as well. Yeah, so next time we'll get into basketball a lot more, which I think is official. We got some new hires for both men's and women sports players and stuff like that. Schedule's getting finalized. But yeah, we got volleyball up. Congrats to Coach Sutton on 100 wins. If you're in Nashville this weekend, they are doing the Tiger Invitational. So they play tonight. They play the next couple of days too as well. So that's football's off. You can do that. So but yeah, all systems go. TSU board meeting tomorrow on the September 18th, 19th. That depends on whether or not I'm gonna get this recorded and get it done. But maybe next week. But yeah, we got the TSU board meeting coming up too as well. So an opportunity to be engaged with what's going on with our institution and how to grow it. So if all my hearts and mind are clear, go ahead.
No, they're not clear. I just want to say whoever's on the TSU Tigers website, the athletic website, please update results from cross country and golf and the men and women's golf teams and their tournaments. Please update it. I mean, we'd like to see that so we can talk about it. But we know they're playing. We just don't know. We don't know the results. So please update.
TSU tennis in Atlanta this weekend. TSU tennis, I don't know. Is that the HBCU tournament, or is that just them playing in Atlanta?
I'm not sure. Let me go to that website. You said tennis?
Yeah. I saw.
Let's see. They're at it looks like their first match is not until October 3rd.
Okay, so maybe I totally got the TSU tennis thing. Okay.
At least that's the men's. Man, that was some cold tennis matches.
Over with. I saw. What did I see? TSU tennis.
But again, it may not be updated. So the website. Oh no. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. I just saw something. No, it's the 18th. It's tomorrow.
Oh, it's HBCU Nationals is tomorrow.
Yeah, HBCU National Tennis in Atlanta, Georgia. It starts tomorrow. There you go. Yes, go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.
Thanks again, Flying Tiger.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Good to see you, brother.
All right. Go Big Blue.